Hey everybody, welcome to Ryan's Gate Chicago. It is April 29th, 2026. Oh goodness, we are approaching May Day. May Day, May Day, May Day. Oh, this is funny. I'll have to watch that one later. International Workers' Day, Worker Solidarity Day in 2 days. We are going to continue watching what we started last night. We were watching the craziness that was the long set of meetings from Monday night. And if you will recall where we left off, it was a crazy end of the finance committee meeting where everyone was told to exit because they had let I'm sorry, what's his name? The committee chair Tyrone Rogers had allowed Alderwoman Delaney Smith to go on a rant saying that Alderwoman Chapman was wasting money, and instead of allowing the Alderwoman to respond, then he decided then to adjourn the meeting, which I wasn't happy about, and a lot of people weren't, and I spoke up because they do that all the time. They let her say whatever she wants and say things that are not related at all to the agenda or to the business at hand. And then when someone else wants to respond to usually some sort of accusation that Ms. Smith has made, then then they say, "Oh, okay, everybody rein it in. We can't do that." So it's just not professional, and it's just a distraction. So we don't ask where the money's going, basically.
Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. So immature. Right.
So you'll see as we're headed out, then it continues. There's well, you'll see what happens.
Don't worry, I'll stay with you. Do you want me to grab your bag? You sure?
I see you gonna do that to me. Now him, I ain't afraid. We're my goodness, we know already. Okay.
Yeah, the police officer was like bugging us. Like, okay, we're coming. No, give us our please.
I'm Harris. We're here for
the other
3 minutes just a public presentation.
Oh, okay. Oh, which one are you guys? I know, like, you're one of the three in the beginning.
I can't tell either because you all come in here, y'all down the city, and then now y'all running for seats. Now y'all running for seats because y'all made a whole mockery of the city for 3 years.
No, we're on
Y'all come up here.
Oh, I didn't know they were presenting.
Without one seat, and then you got one of them that sued the city 3 times.
We have
And y'all think that's cool. Y'all think that's cool. And then you got $15,000 off of each time with receipts. And then you get up there, oh, where's the receipt? Did you get receipt? And then come up here and lie about it. But guess what? That receipt, they have a receipt. But they ain't got the receipt. Then we have an odd person doing what they shouldn't be doing. Even though, guess what? But guess what? You shouldn't be doing it. If you shouldn't be doing it, then why come up here and get in front of people and say, we stealing, get up and say we wasting money, or we mismatching money, when you sitting up there on that podium way high, looking down low, make sure your house is clean. So if you got 5 alderpersons now saying for office, why would you go pay for office? Who looks like they wasting more money? Where do you, guess what? But it's just the money she gets. No, but we come up here all the time. But we come up here and say, but we still come up here and say, tell the residents they're wasting money. But my alderman is not wasting money. My alderman, man can say, man, not wasting money, because that money that I would pay for rent, I would rather take that and put it back into the city. I'd rather put it back. Yeah, it is. So that shows, so what kind of leadership is that? If I know how to budget, if I know how to budget, if I'm budgeting
Yeah, I do local
appropriately.
I do the Harvey Historical
Because
Society.
everybody gets a budget, because you got your degrees, right? And when you work for business, you have a budget. And that budget, they say what you can and cannot spend. And guess what?
Be a phone.
You can get an offer. And guess what? Well, if a lot of it, ask her what it is. Ask her what it is. Guess what? We get.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if this was worth all that argument, but I guess she was, talking at Miss Glynis about her claim, that it's wasting money if an alderperson rents an office it's their salary. They can do what they want with it. If she wants to rent an office, she can do that too. It was not germane to the discussion at all, just a total distraction. But you can see how I believe she's very rude to residents. I don't like how she treats people.
Whatever reimbursement.
Also, this is a rehab.
But again, I wouldn't get no, okay, good, I'm not gonna buy it.
Now, where is this
Wait,
one located?
I'm sure.
But then I guess my question would be, what is she doing with her salary to better the third ward? Does she have anything, particular, anything she's passionate about, anything to show? Because, what Colby or any of the aldermen do with their salary is really, it's their business as long as it's nothing harmful or, illegal. What does she do with hers?
That's not right. What is your project? What is the way? But you know what? I don't even think you're supposed to be
I'm well, thank you. How about yourself?
Alderman Rogers, please, no, man.
No,
Yeah.
stop that.
Believe it. Believe it. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't so.
Yeah, I guess was from Link. He was the lawyer that they sent on Monday. I don't know who he is. I've never seen him before, but per usual, they just come, sit there, make a ton of money. They never say anything, so it's pretty useless if you ask me. We're wasting our money with them.
Good.
Why doesn't she complain about that? This guy wastes more money. The amount of money that we pay Ansel Glink, that law firm, is more than all the aldermanic salaries combined several times over.
Okay, good.
Yeah, sure.
You guys can come back in. If it's disruptive, I'm going to have to clear the chambers again.
I guess we go back.
Oh, I laugh with the police officer there at City Hall when he pretends to get all angry. Like, you all don't get angry at the right thing. You don't actually get angry at injustice. You just get angry, I guess, every once in a while when your bosses say to pretend to be angry. She was ranting for nothing. Yeah, just trying to make a distraction. She's jealous. She's petty. Yeah, she's, provocateur is what I say. The good old French word provocateur. Just there to distract and be loud and rude.
Oh, that's right. There's some sort of. I think this thing is at the beginning. Harvey Neighborhood Network. Did you in? They might have added you in the agenda last minute.
Yeah, so we found out what these two guys were there for. They were with J&T group. We can kind of fast forward. They just let people back in. Oh, and there's the police chief making his usual, Nazi speech there, And you can be subject to arrest if you say something we don't like. All that crap.
Promotion to the women and commitment to calls. Deputy Tibbs began his.
Oh, okay. So Mr. Tibbs, I guess he was, I think he was a sergeant, commander, whatever. I forget their titles, but apparently he was promoted to deputy chief. I really don't know much about him. If anybody does, I mean, feel free to share, but I don't know much about him as far as if, you know, he's on the side of justice or injustice, or if he has a record, you know, for of actions, you know, showing one way or the other. I'm really not sure.
His career as a patrol through hard work, integrity, and unwavering, and as a sergeant, upholding the highest standards and role.
So anyway, so they had a little ceremony thing, and they brought up some family. And you know, I think it's so ironic that Miss Rogers, who, again, the whole process where she was appointed clerk was just wrong, and her husband sits on the city council. She should not be allowed to be clerk just for that. Like, her husband sits on the city council. That's that. How can that not be a conflict of interest? But you know, she has her fraud conviction, and other, you know, past allegations. I mean, that was actually a fraud conviction. So anyway, but I just thought that was crazy that she's the one administering the oath. And we had a little photo op time. Yeah, I don't recognize him. I feel like I haven't seen him that. There he is.
Mayor, Alderperson.
And then we had a presentation by the Harvey Neighborhood Network, and Panisha came. She did a great job presenting just all the nonprofit, you know, community efforts that are going on. Excuse me. That the Harvey Neighborhood Network is assisting with and helping to lead.
City Council, residents, Neighborhood Network is a Transforming Places. We're on the Transforming Places brand, United Way, Cook County, Restoration Ministries, and a bunch of other organizations. So on, serving the people of Harvey. This is for the community. So everything that we do with we help your future.
Yeah, so she was, I'm going to fast forward because otherwise we're never going to make it through this meeting tonight. But so she was talking about the ongoing efforts, like this Saturday, if you're interested in helping out, this Saturday at 9:30, we're going to be meeting at the boxing club on 154th Street by Broadway. And we'll be planting a few trees on private property. And then I think the following weekend we'll be planting some of the gardens. But you know, we'll be doing in the Harvey Neighborhood Network, we'll be doing different cleanup events, etc. So if you're interested, just check out. So probably the easiest thing to do is just to check. You can go on Facebook and just find the group for Harvey Neighborhood Network, and it tells you about that. But yeah, if anyone's interested in helping out this Saturday, 9:30 in the morning, we'll be meeting at the Harvey Boxing Club and planting a few trees. So that'll be good. That was the basic list we talked about. Let's see. There was something else. Oh, and then I'm not sure why. Very confusing. I'm not sure why, especially because this gentleman, this is Antoine. Wait, what's his last name again? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. He's the highway commissioner for Thornton Township. And then Mary Avant, who's one of the Thornton Township trustees, but who never speaks up or says anything about all the lack of transparency and all the crazy stuff that the township board is doing, that is just the same or worse with our money that they were doing under Tiffany. So she's been silent on that, very disappointing. But she came to Harvey and they both presented a check for $5,000. It was some sort of tax revenue that was going to go to Harvey anyway, but so I don't know why they had to make a big deal out of that. That seems kind of strange to me. If you ask me, Shirley's desperate for and her crew of Clarkies, Clark's misfits, Clark's clowns. They're trying to make it look good, as they still have not opened the books and they still keep applying for grants that we didn't ask for and we don't really want, we don't need. They're applying for grants for stuff that we like, for solar farms and for doing something in the village in West Harvey. It's like residents go for the grants to repair the roads, to repave the roads. There are millions out there. I've shared that and I'll keep sharing that. They're there. There's a big one that the deadline is coming up in May to apply for. Why won't the city apply for that? It appears that they're just applying for grants, and as far as what's going to happen with that money, I don't know. Look at the past 7 years. Where have all the millions in grant funds? Where's that gone? Look around Harvey. It doesn't look like much of it's actually gone to the city. Well, that money's got to be somewhere, and so I don't know. To me, this just all seemed like a distraction. And this gentleman, your Thornton Township Highway Commissioner, the question for him, which I know Paul Roberts and I think the Lansing Journal mentioned it as well, is his office had some really big budget items, like in the tens of thousands of dollars. And I think one was like a special project. Another one was like rehabbing his office, like big money though. Who knows if those projects were even bid out, but I mean, they were definitely more than 20,000 each, and we don't really know what it was for. So it's just like, why is he even here? It's very weird. Somebody wake up the comptroller, right? Like comptroller knows everything about what's going on because he's been around forever. 5,000 minus 35%, right? Well, I'm still waiting to hear from Illinois about that. We're going to check on that to see if that's true, to see exactly what's being garnished and what's not. Anyway, I'm not going to even dwell on that. That was, I think that was the last thing.
February 28, 2026, or as of February 28, 2026. So the beginning balance was $2,720,880.
And this was sad and infuriating. So this is Aisha. She is our elected treasurer. She has been. This is her second term. So this is her 7th year. And as usual, the city council majority, not Tracy and Colby, but the majority of the city council. Now we can say Shirley and her 4 elder yes-men, right? Because they're stuck. They got back in the same pattern, right, of their majority there. They have not opened the books to the public, not only to the public to let us know how they're spending our money, but she's our elected treasurer. This lady's supposed to be calling the shots for keeping track of the money in Harvey. And your elected treasurer, Aisha, still gets locked out of the books. They let her see, bits and pieces, it sounds like, of what's going on. But can you believe that? Like she's literally elected. I mean, I wish we all could sue on behalf of this woman, because it's just so, I've encouraged her too to be more aggressive about it. I know she said she's tried to speak out, but so anyway, she gives her report, which is just like, what is that even worth? Because they're not giving her information. How can she even give a report on where our money's going if she can't see the books? So it's ridiculous. She was just kind of giving like some total numbers, but they're very disrespectful to her, and they have been for years. She told us before Clark would just flat lock her out of meetings, say you can't be here. Like, what? She's our treasurer.
Receive the solar program. It's just something to see if the companies are interested in the property. Harvey First Community Solar Project resolution authorized feasibility and development activities to support the first Harvey community.
So they're talking about that solar farm that is in a weird place. I'll bring up the map. I think I've shown it to you guys before, but I'll show it to you again. Again, I am not opposed to, so I love solar power. I love anything green. And I'm not even opposed to solar farms per se, but the devil is in the details, as they say, right? Who is going to own the land? They say the city. Who is going to profit? They say that it's going to help the community. But I mean, people have said a lot of things about a lot of projects in Harvey over the years, right? And as we know, a lot of that stuff never came to fruition. Okay, can you guys see this map now? Okay, so here's Harvey. So we're gonna zoom in because here, a hotel. Oh, that's not a hotel. We should have several hotels in our downtown. So here's the downtown area. Okay, our lovely historic downtown. Here, did I zoom in right? Sometimes I don't zoom in right. I think I did, or is it just like being slow at? Like it's supposed to get clear anyway, hopefully well. So yeah, so this is our historic downtown area, and then you have around it, you have our oldest, really the whole thing is historic. You got the historic homes on 155th, and this is the core of Harvey, from the 1890s when it was platted out. So if you go up a little bit to here, let's see, here's Turlington here, which does not go all the way through. Okay, so here is the high school. Here's the football stadium. And Michael would know this. I always forget. Was this the famous Little League field? I think this was the one at 150th and Myrtle. I think so. But anyway, 150th has also always been an historic street with a lot of beautiful landmark homes, et cetera, et cetera. So right immediately off of that, if you take Turlington north from 150th, so let's say, you're like a block away, you're coming from the high school, and you turn north on Turlington, you have this land right here, which I'm told, I think under Mayor Graves, it was a toll yard. And different things have been in this area. But and I'm almost certain when I looked it up on the floodplain maps that it does have issues with flooding, I think. But anyway, it's 2 blocks from our high school. Okay, this is all the high school here. And it's smack dab right by the football field, right by the park district facilities. And it's smack dab in the middle of the residential core of Harvey. Oh, then here's Sibley, which is one of our big commercial corridors. So I don't know. To me, I'm not understanding the fascination with putting the stuff here. Now, I will say I don't know if there's any connection to it at all. But remember that that crazy project that Jedediah's group that he brought with those lawyers that were just very sketchy and just like. There was just no oversight, nothing at all, where the city basically gave 10 lots, for $1 each to the developer. Those are right here, 151st in Turlington. So, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, actually, I don't know if that has any connection, but they are very close to each other. So this is the solar panel stuff they want, and then this is where they are trying to give away, valuable city land to those developers. My question is, instead of having it in our downtown core, what about over here? Look, here's all the old Dixie Square. What about West Harvey? Dixie Square is here. Remember they said they're getting a grant to do something with the village. But I mean, look at all this. There are other places that have plenty of open land, that seems like it would be more appropriate, and you're not like right on top of people's houses. I mean, you could probably put it even off of Roby if you really wanted to. So I don't know what's going on with it, but frankly, I don't trust them. As Michael says, there are so many properties that could be used. Why there? Exactly. We deserve to know everything because this city council for the past 7 years has a horrible history of pushing through projects and grants that no one asked for, no one wanted, and then where does the money go? Toll yard and carnival lot. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting that you remember that there was a carnival. Okay. Yeah, you were the first person to mention that. I had not heard that before.
Solar project. This is just to see if there.
I love how Mayor, again, I'm sorry, but I don't really, do you trust these people? Look at how the city of Harvey looks under their leadership for the past 7 years, and look how it looks now. Trash all over, roads are not maintained, sidewalks are not maintained. They're not, they literally block people from buying up buildings that that they pay money and they apply to the city to buy the buildings to fix them up. And the city says, nah, no, we're not going to sell them to you. Why not? Well, we're just not. Like they literally, this city council has done everything possible for the past 7 years to stop anybody who wanted to buy all these dilapidated properties, and like fix them up, except for their exceptions, right? Here and there we see like the Jedediah people or this solar thing or the thing in West Harvey. And then when their people come along, all of a sudden we're just all supposed to get behind it. But you keep telling all the locals who want to fix up Harvey, you keep telling them, no, you can't. No, we're not going to give you a permit for that. No, we won't let you buy that. No, we won't let you do that. No, we won't. Why? But then we're supposed to just jump when they want their pet projects done? What is the rush? Very suspicious to me. So Shirley's, practically yelling, saying it's just feasibility study. It's just a feasibility study. I don't trust it. The solar farm is supposed to be on flatland. Yeah, I don't even know how flat it is, but that's another thing.
There are funds available, and if the property.
Anyway.
Go around, then you can.
I just want to make a language to support for the continued feasibility and our
like a year. There's no cost.
So basically, I think Colby and Tracy were concerned about, we're just saying like, hey, is taxpayers aren't going to be on the hook for anything, are they? Shirley assures us no. Do you trust Shirley? Again, we can't really speak to any of this because they don't put the council packets online before the meetings like they're supposed to. So we have no, this isn't really even a public meeting. This is a private meeting where it just has an audience, right? Because how we really can't, how can we have an opinion about what they're voting on? We haven't seen it. We have to see it in advance to have time to look at it. So, it's just more charades and gimmicks in my view.
He right away asked if he can apply for it, and part of the procedure is that we have an open house. How many people here show hands?
Yeah, I went to the open house. That doesn't.
Everybody hears.
So the bidding process of RFP will go out for any contractors that want to do the work. Also with this grant, it's a percentage of minorities have to be part of this work also. Not just minorities, but also.
So this is our fire chief, Fisher. I don't know why he's writing grants as the fire chief, but Shirley said something about he's the one that got this grant. They want an Illinois DCEO grant. Well, actually for this one and the one in West Harvey. So I don't know. It's like I said, there's just strange stuff happening and I don't understand, but they should be telling us more than they are.
And also with the minority proposal, we have that also in our policies. So in 2015, somewhere around there.
Has anybody ever actually seen or heard in person of Harvey taking bids in a proper fashion? I never have. all the work just seems to just get, paid for and given to their friends and relatives. I've never seen, but please tell me if you've ever witnessed like an actual open bidding process in Harvey for any public spending. I mean, I would love to know.
I mean, anything over 25K. I think that was sponsored by Alderman Whittington, and I co-sponsored that.
Anything over 25,000? Again, I don't know. I mean, has anybody else ever seen them do open bidding? They say officially, I've read online, that that's like, oh, on such and such a Tuesday at 10 a.m. they'll have envelopes with the bidding. But I've never actually seen it. Does anybody know? Do they actually do that? They just, their friends always seem to get the contracts.
So that's a wonderful opportunity for. Is there any more questions? Going once?
Yes.
Go right ahead.
Looking at the grid lines, my ward is on the fourth ward. We don't have a copy in for this project.
Oh, and he was asking about, because it is right near the boundary of the third and the fourth wards, but I think where they want to spend that money on the project in the village is it's in the third ward. And I'm sorry, because I kind of skipped the vote. They voted, everybody voted in favor of doing the feasibility study for the solar farm. If it were me, like I said, my stance is vote no on all of these things until the election. The only thing they need to be doing is they need to open the books. They need to explain where all the public money for the past 7 years has gone. And then they need to give us, the public, time to take all that information in and tell them, our representatives, what we want them to do next. I mean, they can prepare some options, but if we're in such a financial crisis, like they say, why do they keep applying for grants for things that don't? It's like no one asked for these things. They're all random. To me, I just feel like they're money grabs, but they definitely don't make sense, and we're definitely not getting answers. And you notice everything's rushed. Why? What is the rush? If we are in such a crisis that the mayor had to declare that we were under a financially distressed city in October and lay off almost half the city staff. We're barely 6 months or so away from that. And now all of a sudden we're just going to go pretend like life is normal again? No, open the books and tell us what's going on. So I say vote no to all this crap. And they're applying for another DCEO grant to do this work in the village. And again, I understand some of the buildings, yes, they're, not all of them are salvageable. But first of all, the city is the one that dumped a whole bunch of trash over there over the years, even as people were living there. So that's on this city council and on the city to clean that up. That's your fault. You guys did that during the past 7 years, so that's what, at least when I investigated it, that's what it appears, I mean, certainly the trash didn't come out of nowhere, but one of the places that I was told that it was from, like when we had the big storms in 2020, instead of disposing of things properly, that Public Works just dumped everything in the village. So first of all, clean up all that trash. And second of all, instead of just getting this huge grant to demo all those brick buildings, why don't you, again, offer them to investors who could fix them up and make them housing for people? Brick buildings are brick. They'll last through flood, through fires. You just, the worst case scenario, you just do a gut rehab, and then if some of them are really that bad, then, okay, then demo those. But like a lot of those buildings could be easily, flipped by rehabbers in Harvey. So again, sounds like a money grab, if you ask me.
The buildings, I think there's also back there to check out the land and that.
So, allegedly we're told the city dumped trash over there over the years, never fixed the streets. It looks like, a hellscape. And now they're offering to pay for the 2 families that are there to move. Like, why don't you fix the shit that you did? You totally screwed up their whole neighborhood through trash and active neglect over the years, especially this city council, you know, and you know, because most of them were the same as far as over the past 7 years. So I mean, yeah, something's not right with that village project. I'm telling you, we need to get more information on that.
I'm not ready to go.
Somebody will live there.
So they all voted on it, of course. Bleh. Okay, now this is interesting because remember J&T Group, and I opposed them when they came in under Clark. So supposedly Clark said, hey, we're going to bring in this group. And after they had already talked about using the South Suburban Land Bank and a few other different groups, they kept changing their mind every few years as far as which group was, or what they were going to do with all these vacant properties. So then he said, okay, no, the next thing we're going to bring in J&T Group. This is like in 2024 and last year. And they're going to, you know, they're gonna get these empty properties and fix them up. So now J&T comes up and says, hey, the city is not performing their part of the deal. So we'll have to reach out to them and figure out what's going on.
His name, at which point he would then purchase properties from the city and rehab them to a very great standard, and then sell them to somebody who will live there as their primary residence. The purpose of this is twofold. One, it gets the tax bill back to the city. So all of these taxes have to be 2 years or more delinquent. Most of these properties that we're working on are 10 plus, as well as having a myriad of fines and violations against them from the city. These get the properties back into the city's name and then sold to a person who's going to live there as a primary residence, so that you know, they can basically get the property taxes back to where they need to be. As of now, the city has not been executing and has not been working with the J&T Group on their end of the bargain. As of now, we have not really gotten any deeds into J&T Group's name. We have one property currently that actually got to the finish line here. It's currently listed. It is 142 West 156th Place. This got completely rehabbed by the J&T Group, and it's now being sold to an owner occupant who is also a veteran. It had a lot of interest, and it's really improving the look of Harvey. If possible, I'd like to put it into the record. I'm not sure if it's possible. Earlier, you guys mentioned a resolution for businesses to attract more businesses into Harvey. That can only work if there's a foundation of homeowners in the city. And as of right now, the amount of abandoned properties is very high. What we're asking for is for the city to work with the J&T Group to transfer these deeds into the J&T Group's name so that they can be rehabbed. Currently, the J&T Group has a $2 million line of credit that cannot be used and is at risk of losing it. There is a myriad of expenses that are associated with this process, and the J&T Group is fronting all of those, including my legal fees. Each one I also front in order to get the title searches, courier fees, service fees, all of this. No payment gets made until that judicial deed gets put into the J&T Group's name, and he can take out his the money from the commercial loan. So as of right now, there's a huge risk of the whole program that was agreed upon being terminated because of Harvey's lack of communication and execution.
Mm. Could very well be true. We're gonna have to follow up on that. I'm gonna write a note actually right now. The mic came up.
Good evening, everybody. First, I'd like to start out by giving a shout out to Streets and Sands. About a little under a month ago, I had some serious flooding issues in my basement, and I contacted Rick, and he managed to get me out of the 14 inches of water that I had down in the basement. And since we haven't had any heavy rains until tonight,
he made a joke, but no, Michael was nice. He gave credit to to Rick for help, which is good. I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with giving some positive credit. Oh, this is me. Oh Lord, what did I don't remember everything I said.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan. I'm with the Harvey Historical Society and Harvey resident. And just a few questions. I noticed that I haven't seen the city administrator Korean Davis around. I know at that meeting, I think last Monday, we were introduced to an interim city administrator, but I just wanted to get clarity on, what happened to Ms. Davis. Also, I'd like to hear from the council about that February letter from the Illinois Department of Revenue saying that we were denied financially distressed city status. I'm surprised and not pleased to see that I haven't been on any of the agendas since then. So, a lovely investigative reporter, uncovered it, but I mean, that shouldn't happen, right? Shouldn't our mayor and city council tell us about that? My other concern is at 154 Broadway over here, there's a big demo that's been going around April 8th. I discovered a huge gas leak, potentially grade 1. If I had not discovered that gas leak, that could have exploded and could have killed a lot of people, including people in the apartment building across the street. Not only was I was expecting an award or anything, but not only was I not thanked or anything, I saw no public announcement warning people about that or informing people that was done. I've been monitoring the site and I'm paid for that, but because I see no city of Harvey oversight at all at that site, that's pretty major. I think the city needs to notify people about the leak, that happened. And then what are you doing? There's an empty building on the corner. I know Harvey may not own it, but you need to monitor that. How many empty buildings do we have downtown? I called the Illinois Commerce Commission and I said, our city officials don't seem to be responding. Can you do something? And they said yes. So they took NICOR and checked a lot of the gas lines in our downtown and said, okay, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm doing this because I don't want people to blow up. Why it's not going to be instruments? It's not funny. And then when the fire chief comes out, when I see him on the scene, he doesn't say, oh, thank you, Mr. Samowski, for uncovering this leak that could have killed the people across the street where I lost. He flares at me and then starts going off and you don't tell the truth on YouTube, and this and that, and this and that. And then I come to pay my water bill, he across me again. You lied about that leak. That wasn't because of them. Excuse me, who cares, public safety officials? Your job is to keep us safe.
That's right.
Your job is not to come, and you shouldn't be laughing either, Mr. Randall. Your job should not be to come after residents like you all were earlier, Ms. Smith. Same thing. Don't come after my alderwoman. Don't come after anybody. You take care of your own house first, and you work for us. You do not come after us. We can ask you questions till we're blue in the face, and you know what? You get paid. I get paid nothing to do this. I do this because I want to see people die in my town. Is that how you feel? Some of you allegedly don't even live here. Think about that and change your behavior.
Well, wait, what did Rick do? What did Rick do with his hand? Oh, I don't know what that was for. He's so funny. Oh, thank you, Beth. Thank you, Beth. Oh, plus I had so many other things. I have so many other things that I wanted to bring up. Good points, but safety first. I mean, yes, we need to find out where all the money's been going, all that, but safety first. Like our fire, police, all of our city council, safety should always be first. If there's any chance that things may not be done correctly, that should always be priority.
Good job. Reverend Melville King,
And the lady they brought back for to do the PR, she's like giggling a little bit. You can't see the fire chief's expression. He's hiding behind the police chief right now.
16 County Boulevard, Harvey, Illinois. Glad to be here. I try not to miss any meeting. I love the excitement and everything that's happening. I like the chaos sometimes, but I've been in a war before. I'm chaos serious.
I forget. Yeah, what did Melville talk about again?
I put up in front of my house, and all over the 6th floor, I already understand that wrong, but no one told me about this camera facing my doggone living room. When I get it from living room,
yeah, the cameras. I told you those cameras are creepy. Big waste of money, more than $2 million contract. And then he also talked about how he's cleaned up in the ward over the years, and it's true,
from what I've been told, and what I've seen, I think he's done more to clean up the 6th Ward, you know, and he's never been alderman than the elected alderman right now. And Michael, so is Michael.
Well, I'm aware of that. Housing
And the young people who are currently at elementary.
Oh yeah, and these young ladies, I'm not gonna go through everybody just because I don't have the time, but yeah, go back and watch them. They did a great job. Here's another provocateur. That was a waste of time, those comments. Just trying to get people riled up for knitting. Okay.
Let's try to keep this first word looking clean. Just an FYI, I don't know how many of our residents have rain, but have you seen those, that rain when somebody says, hey, did you hear that gunshot? Was that gunshots or what?
Yeah, Rosa's words were kind of lackluster. Nothing too crazy there. Remember, it's nothing personal, but we still got no proper explanation to the public. She was elected to be your clerk, resigned, some might say illegally or under in a very questionable manner, perhaps. And then, you know, basically saying, oh, I can't serve. But then she was appointed interim first ward alderwoman and accepted. So we still never got an answer for that. How can you say you can't serve as clerk, but then you can as alderwoman? And you were elected to be the clerk. And then someone with a horrible documented past as far as financial things, Janet Rogers, just happens to get appointed clerk in her place. Do you think that's all by accident? From what I'm told, allegedly, it's because they're all trying to steal as much money as possible before that election next year.
Across from our...
Is there a woman on the panel?
Definitely appreciate Harvey Network. To my brother Tiff, man, I'm extremely proud of you. I'm actually going to share the career. 012, reach out to me.
Very forgettable.
Coming down, knowing that it's going to be people that weapons and everything dedicated to the cause. I want to say also congratulations again to Mr. Tibbs, assistant in the ward. Residents, I just want to share with you that my position is not opposition. It's for the sake of opposition. And that same comes out of, I gave an example earlier. You go to the local dollar store right here on Wood Street, you want to buy something for $1.25, revenue comes out with 12% tax, about $1.37. You get a receipt. And you know what you spent 137 pennies on.
Right. And she makes a good point. And she's saying, why shouldn't we also know where our public money is going? Now, you know, I totally agree with that. I'm totally behind that. Yep.
And I'm just simply asking across the county, if anything over $10,000, that we take a deeper dive into it.
Oh, that was her proposal too. I think it was saying anything over 10,000 should be put up for bid. I think right now it's anything over 25,000, but I definitely agree with that.
And the reason for that deeper dive is when I looked across the bills list for April 13th, that was $742,000 spent.
And then they say we're broke. Well, then where did you get the $742,000 on one bills list? That's not even for the whole month.
That bills list across April 27th, that was $3 million spent. And understand that
$3 million, but we're broke. Obviously, we're not. There's a lot of money being spent. Where's it going? Why do they get so angry when anybody wants to know where the money's going? It's not their money. Remember, they work for us. This is our public funds.
Things take money, and we are the cream of the crop. Beyond what our community looks like, I look at the souls of our people, and because your resilience has kept you here.
Right.
I know that we're on the route of success, but with that, we must have the belief or a paper documentation or something that upholds the cost in which we're allocating out. And that is simply my ask. And or we can take a baby step. let's maybe have the finance meeting on another day
Mm-hmm.
to the finance committee.
Right. Like, could you do like the bare minimum? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, they never want to give any sense of change or transparency.
So that we will have more opportunity to speak long and through around cost-effective measures and ways in which we can reallocate monies that we're allocating elsewhere into things that are necessary, that are most necessary for the community. I'm in favor of understanding today. I voted yes because it was understood by my point of information, confirmation from the mayor, that we're not seeking anything further than a feasibility study. So I'm okay with that. But that's the way in which we should do everything. Let's bring everything before the people.
You know, I agree with that. I'm saying to vote no because honestly, if these people tell you it's just a feasibility study, I think they have such a horrible track record. I just wouldn't believe them.
Because this is not the people. The people are the people that are upholding us. They're paying us everything.
Definitely.
I want to really acknowledge these two young ladies. I had a grant opportunity in meeting Courtney Bruce and I, both sophomores at Gordon High School. Sonaya went down with me 2 weeks ago. I took 33 students.
Oh, yeah.
And out of that 33, we got 4.5. And I'm really proud of her.
Oh, yeah. Because she took a whole bunch of kids down to Southern Illinois University that had a great time. And then she was calling out the young ladies that commented. And they really worked. They did a great job.
Good evening, everyone. I want to congratulate democracy. I came to speak today to say what obvious is and what I already feel raised to be. And I have noticed through the years here that if someone has some opinion, you're attacked. Okay? So that has been sent for us. We have a nickname here, 4 yeses, rather than, anybody criticizing. It's just simple matter. God says, well, 2 or more agree, there's not.
This woman, I'm sorry, but she's got, they have to be compensating her with something. To me, it just, she's obviously a provocateur, you know what I mean?
So let's start with that. It's a double standard. It's a double standard. So it's okay for people to say what they want to say to you, but when you try to tell them or educate them on it, there's a problem. And it shouldn't be a problem. It's like what you hear, but your place. So like I say, I told everyone, those who may not have been at the earlier meeting, there will be monthly meetings, the 3rd Saturday of every month, where you can learn how TIFs are done, how grants money, how they work. But it just seems like no matter how we explain it.
Oh, wait, now she's going to have more meetings? Oh, it must be an election year.
It's still pushback and fighting and not working together. Because we have selective on what we want to tell the truth about, what we don't want to tell the truth about. Now, we have someone who has FOIA'd the city like 3 times and won, and it's not because nobody's not doing their job, it's because.
And she's trying to shame me and other people who are submitting FOIA requests to find out what's happening in the city. Sweetheart, there's no shame there because, shame's on you. Why don't you just stop hiding what you're doing with the public resources? There are resources. They're not yours. You don't get to hide and do whatever you want. If the city just told us what they were doing in the first place, no one should even have to file any FOIA requests, let alone have to sue. It's only because you guys obviously want to hide what you're doing with our money. Let's be real. But that's okay. We know you're paid or otherwise compensated to do what you do, Ms. Smith, to just try to spread lies and cause chaos. We get it. That's your job.
We are short of money. We only have one person doing the job, and you purposely are doing it on purpose to make it cost the money. I don't understand why nobody's not in an uproar about that, but nobody is. But nevertheless, that's money we could use to cover some.
Why would we be in an uproar about that, Selene? We should be in an uproar about the fact that you keep hiding stuff. What do you have to hide? What are you hiding from the public?
Or cut some of these lawns. Still nobody's got that part either. And so we selective, and when you get those FOIAs, receipts come with those. That big important work that y'all say, receipts. Receipts are with that. But we're selective and choosing what receipts we show and receipts we don't show.
you know, and then it's to the point where when you are not allowed to say what you want, I'm a woman first, nothing else.
You know, it is so funny that Shirley's gonna pound the gavel. You know, if people are just, of course they're gonna be outraged by the stuff that this lady says, because they're she says things on purpose to get people riled up. They're ridiculous. They're not true. It's just it's
I'm somebody's mother, and I'm somebody's sister. So whatever my opinion is, I don't expect no man to walk around here and be disrespectful. Because I was taught in my home to be respectful to men, my elders, and everything else. So I was home trained, very well. I was home trained back at this. The older people see the action happening around here, and you know what? My mother wasn't on drugs. My mother chastised me. My mama wasn't even beat up by my head. None of that. So what I'm saying is, we have to be respectful, because everybody has a past, and everybody got proud of what they did. We need to learn to be respectful. You guys have a great night.
You guys have a great night. Like, oh man, this is crazy. It's like negativity personified, you know. Wait, what was it? Oh, like Mr. Powell said, that's why it's thundering. Because when Miss Smith was speaking, yeah, the thunder was more intense.
Back to the room and your officers right there.
The officers are there. Why do you have to threaten people with officers, Shirley? Like, you're just like Clark. Get out of here.
One more, and then I'm gonna make it quick because I don't know if you guys are here yet.
Oh boy.
Y'all hear me better now? You and seniors, I can't just right quick, just a few hours.
We congratulate them.
They go to high school. The chief, right to the chief, I'm sorry, well, deputy chief. And I think we got to add to that for employees that were either forced out or pushed out or whatever and left and became chiefs. Went from police officer or sergeant to chiefs of police. And they came out here to support them. You know, that was a good thing. And they take the city hard out of it. And now, we like to take the and get the work on out and now so we legally don't participate. Just try to like
Really fast. We are cross-training management team to ensure we can hire in more staff. So what that means, what I said before, when we went through the layoffs, right now we're bringing up the layoffs, and any position that we have, we're hiring from within, and we're doing less with less managers and more with the staff. So this is a good move for us. Senior engagements. Seniors are now utilized.
We have no idea if that's true. Are you doing less with more? We don't see where our money's going, Shirley. We have no idea what you're saying, if anything's true.
In the council chamber for line dancing and have established a book club and promoting community engagement and wellness. This is all free. Line dancing, if somebody wants to donate a couple dollars for the instructor, but this is no fee attached. During this time, we also have a coffee club, and that is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 12 here at the city chambers. It's a pretty good group. City Hall has resumed back to normal hours, but in addition to that.
Right, not because these guys are doing the right thing, but because you all spoke up, because I complained, you complained, so many residents complained in person on Facebook. Keep doing that. We need more people to speak up. more people to come to meetings, particularly our Latino community, our Indian community. Please, you are also vital parts of our community. Come out to meetings. If you don't try to show up at least occasionally at these meetings, politicians don't, they think that you don't care, and they will never ever try to help you. They'll never ever try to help you. If they, they have to see butts in seats at least occasionally.
I don't know if you remember, way back before 2019, we used to be open until 7 o'clock. For all the people that had was working late, they came in at 7 o'clock to pay their water bill, or 6:45.
That was like 1 day a week. I think I remember that.
Or get their vehicle stickers. But guess what? We're back to 7 o'clock on city council meetings. So 7 o'clock, this should help the adults.
Wait, what? 7 o'clock city council meeting? That's not a change. I don't understand that.
That are not available. Soccer tournament. We are up.
Oh, she talked about a soccer tournament. I love that. It's like, we're gonna keep allegedly extorting our Latino businesses and telling them no when they make offers on buying and fixing up all these dilapidated properties. But here, we'll do a token event called a soccer tournament. It's like, who the F cares? Treat people right. Stop harassing and finding and over inspecting and doing all the crap that you do to residents and businesses already. It's just disgusting.
And this is his project. Listen, everyone notice what we're doing in the front of the city hall. We got re-established.
Talking about some kind of park on Broadway with Restoration Ministries. That could be a good thing. Could be a good thing. And then I know she ends up talking about the gas leak before we leave. I wanted to mention that, and I'm going to show you that the email that I did send out because she claimed not to know about it.
Using the park right across the street. They asked me for inviting me to their work meetings. We address cities. I addressed it then when it was brought to our attention in March. I was going to bring it in on last meeting, but as we know who was in attendance, we lost power. That distress letter came out, but it didn't put us in a crisis because we knew our odds were limited.
Well, why didn't you tell us about it, Shirley? That the point is, you are in leadership. You wanted the job. You're driving, the luxury city car that we bought you, that we're paying for. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't even drive it. You have a driver. Excuse me. Pardon me. You get the big salary. You get all these perks. You basically get to control who gets what contract because you all never do bidding like you should. So like what, you can't at least keep up with what, like what the news is regarding our city. In February, you got that letter and we had to have All in the Queue was the one who had to report on it because you couldn't tell the people the truth. That is just like criminal. I'm sorry. That's disgusting.
It's just providing us more opportunity to apply. A distressed city, nobody, especially the state, and I will publicly say that, wants any city to become distressed.
It's so funny how she's trying to explain away the fact that she didn't communicate that very clearly. Think of almost, like I said, almost half of all of our city staff lost their jobs, lost their ability to make, to pay their rent or to buy food for themselves and their dependents. Because Christopher Clark in October said, oh, we have to be declared a financially distressed city. You cause a lot of pain and suffering for a lot of people. The least you can do is keep people updated about what's happening. And now she's trying to reframe it as like, oh, but that's okay. Well, we'll just apply again. That's not the issue. The issue is you're hurting people every day. The least you can do is try to give people updates. My God.
Because they do not have the funds to take over. But this brought our city attention.
That's not true. The state has the money. I'm hoping that they're saying no because they know that you guys don't show where any of the public money goes. Why would they give you more when you squander away everything you do get?
And I was able to go to Springfield last week, well, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to Springfield tomorrow to beg and talk to the House of Senators.
Good luck with that.
To get bills passed so we can get some assistance here.
I hope they don't.
In addition to that, we're going to invite all the elected officials mid-May.
Why would they give you money? You and Clark's gang for the past 7 years have done nothing but waste public money. Why should you get any more? Shirley, listen to yourself. You don't make any sense.
To the city of Harvey for a tour because my presentation was live as a resident of Harvey. What does it take? Yes, we have.
It takes dealing with people like you and some other politicians who take every opportunity to take money and resources and hide where they're all going. But you guys live great lives. And then you subject all the businesses and people and visitors of Harvey to hell. That's what it's like.
If we're lucky enough to go through a drive-through, to have our driveway, we're going to get hit with a pothole. The youth, I think that's wonderful. The youth is getting involved. You know, I don't know what happened here, but ladies, just as you know, you mentioned you shouldn't see grown adults. Well, you know what? When people are passionate about their topic, they're going to discuss it. They're going to be passionate. And sometimes there's a place and a time for it, but age does not take away passion. So I don't know.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's okay when Delaney gets passionate, when Miss Smith gets passionate, but then when I spoke up and they had me arrested, then I was being childish and immature. Remember that? Yeah, we remember that, Shirley. You're a hypocrite.
Exactly what happened, but that should address why some people get elevated in their voices. And I'm sure this is not the only place that you saw. Watch it on TV. But that doesn't make an excuse. We know better, we do better. This is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity that you discussed. You guys are sophomores, you're going to become a junior. Now, you gotta remember, I've only been in office since February 1st.
Get out of here, Shirley. You have been in office in Harvey, in bed with all of these people since, what did she tell us? Did she say 2010? But anyway, it's been a long time. So stop telling that lie. There's another lie she tells.
So we've been rocking and rolling over here. And he met with me and he came up with a wonderful idea about having a City of Harvey Junior Council. I loved it. So, a good friend of mine and an excellent resource to Harvey.
Another great distraction. So we get to see kids up there so that they can, get back to the hard work of hiding where your money goes.
Is Dr. Jerry Doss. He is
Dr. Doss. Okay. One of the very close allies, allegedly, of Christopher Clark. Well, that sounds like a grand idea, doesn't it?
Assistant Superintendent and Dr. Hamilton. So, of course, we branched out, and they are going to help us spearhead this project. Now, not only do we have District 205, but we also have another district, 228, in our area. So to make this fair, we're going to have this application for any district, but it's going to be and that how difficult or how easy it is working together. But this is something new, and the youth. And what is the role? Also,
I mean, and it's not. I'm not opposed to those ideas, but again. You just said you agreed with Clark last fall that we were a city in a financial crisis and fired almost half the city staff. A few people have been hired back, but we're not even up to minimum safe staffing levels as far as, you know, I've been told regarding police and fire, let alone the other departments. And this is the stuff you're gonna do in a public meeting? Like, take care of your house that's on fire. Oh, but I guess maybe it's like all the other fires in Harvey, you know? I guess maybe you guys want them to burn. You know, it doesn't seem to, I don't sense any urgency there. You're talking about like youth councils and such, and like, what about opening the books and figuring out how we're going to handle the crisis that the city's in? You know, it's definitely a lot of mixed messaging there. You know, when you want something done, they say, oh, we're in crisis, we can't afford that. But then they go on and they apply for really wacko grants and start talking about other things. So you know, see what I'm saying? Like we need, that's why we got to open those books. We need to figure out what's really going on.
I got all these notes here. This is how we work as a team. I don't have all the answers. Everybody tell me about a federal opportunity for zoning. And I was like, wow, I don't know much about it. So I put her in charge with Crystal. And they engaged in dialogue. And this is something that has not been opened up for quite some time. What? So part of it is going to be in certain sections. But our engineers, and Crystal, are you here? Can you speak up a little bit about it? What our Terrell group had said? If you can stand. Get used to this.
Yes, so after I spoke with Alderwoman Chapman this morning, we had a brief conversation, and she shared with me the information that she had received from the State Department of Commerce. And in that, it's basically a grant opportunity or funding opportunity where they open up to the census tracts within the city. So the city has several areas that are allocated to or within the census tract. But when I spoke with Sarah this morning, what they suggested, because they have too been looking into this from time to time, and like you said, this has been closed for many, many years. And so now that the state is finally opened this back up, the suggestion was, let's open it up to a broader base, so to include the whole city. So what it does is it helps to bring in economic development opportunities and things of that nature. So it's a really good opportunity for the city. And we feel strongly that long-term, if we open it up to a broader base instead of those census tracts, then it's going to be better for us, bringing more development, more funding opportunities in the long run.
Thank you. And that wouldn't happen in this.
I don't quite understand what they're saying, but something like maybe more grant funds through the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, something with a census tract. So again, not quite sure what they're saying, but maybe it sounds like something that Colby Chapman did. That could be good, maybe to get some funding.
Harvey Youth Council, it wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Alderman Randall Allen. So community, there's no doubt about that. But to you as a through, because this is something that people have mentioned when they speak, and I take notes. So we had Mr. Harris, and unfortunately they left from the TJ group. Yeah, they did have a resolution.
Oh my God, she can't even say the group. The JNT group. That's the group that, hey, status, hey. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I haven't seen you here in forever, but welcome. We're just sorting through the typical BS of the Harvey City Council meetings. We're almost done. I know it was a really long set of meetings on Monday, so I broke it up. But yeah, welcome.
For 5 properties. If you indicated what the attorney said, he said for all the vacant properties. properties in his presentation. It was not for all the abandoned properties, it was for 5 properties.
I don't know.
And within that, there was nothing completed for that whole year, versus December of 24 to December of 25. One property, he said
Okay,
that
so
he did not get
yeah, we'll have
leads.
to look into that.
He got the deed to the property that he put in-house that everyone has a flyer for. This one, this is his property, he is selling it, and it's a very nice job. He did a beautiful job. That is not the question. The question is why have we put a hold on it? We do not have an economic developer.
Huh?
Here's our choice. We have $5. Where are we?
Stop with that. No, because this is what I'm telling you. Whenever they're doing something shady or they want to excuse it, they're like, we don't have money. But then they go do stupid things. If we really don't have money, then get rid of that car that we pay for, that luxury SUV, and your driver, Shirley, and drive your own damn car around Harvey, a city of 6 square miles with barely 20,000 people. You know, these lies.
Properties, or are we going to set?
Stop. I want to hear it.
Anybody that will
Don't lecture us or tell us anything about money unless you open all the books. We want to see for ourselves.
offer us some free knowledge. So I put that on hold. We're setting up a committee. Those of you who know, Mashan Tolar handled the mid-mile, did a tremendous job in the last 3 years. He is going to concentrate.
Oh boy, Marshawn, my old alderman from the 2nd Ward, who really, he did appear to try to give some opposition to some of the things that Clark was doing during Clark's first term that really were not good. But I don't know, he never, to me, he didn't really seem to do very much for the 2nd Ward. As my alderman, and then he's been doing things for Michigan Avenue down to, I mean, I think he got some jobs, some hoity-toity jobs in politics. Does that mean that he actually accomplished anything? Does that mean that he's someone who's trustworthy that we would want in Harvey government? Oh. And he used to be very close with Clark. I remember that, and close with a lot of people that I can't say I would trust. So I don't know why she's bragging about Marshawn Tolbert coming back. What's that about?
And be a part of this committee. We are going to look at in-house talents, and we're going to figure out what we can do before we can spend the money. Now, if this is something that we want, great. But I can't answer, this company does beautiful work. Oh my God. Go through Phoenix. They put a home up in Phoenix that is absolutely.
What company? What are you talking about, Shirley? You can't even stick to one topic and make sense. This woman drives me nuts. Like, what? This is part of their thing. See, this is what you guys have to understand. People come to the meetings or they watch and they're like, I'm just frustrated. Da, da, da. Don't get frustrated. I mean, it's going to happen, but understand that is their goal. The politicians, they want you to feel confused. They want you to get bored. They want you to be shocked by the antics of like the Delaney Smiths of the world. They're the Delaney Smiths of the world. They're supposed to be the provocateur. They're supposed to start the fights and be, crazy and ridiculous to distract you from where the money is. And then you have people like, Shirley, who she's a great schmoozer. You know what I mean? But she'll just talk and talk and talk about 10 different things. And then if you ask her a question, she'll do it like Trump does this, famously, where she a lot of times just won't even bother answering it. She'll say one thing and then she starts talking about something totally different. And you're like, what? So it makes a lot of people get frustrated, give up. Don't give up. Keep asking the questions. Keep asking the question. Where's the money? Where are resources going? What about people that need help? What about safety issues? That's why I went off in my public comment, because, I have a lot of things I want to say for public comment, but you do not mess with people's safety. So, don't be discouraged, but that's the kind of crap that they do. And it does drive you nuts.
Gorgeous. For $600,000. Now, come on, pay Cook County taxes, and you're going to to buy the beautiful home in Granite. Go through Phoenix and you'll see a lot of beautiful homes, a lot of land. Well, you know what? We can do a lot more with our land. And housing is very important. But I'm sorry, I would rather have 3 homes at 200.
But what does that have to do with anything, Shirley? You're just rambling. We're a city in crisis, right? We'll open the books already. Tell us how you're going to get us out of the crisis. And it's not by applying for random grants for stuff that we don't need.
1,000 apiece versus 1 home for 600,000. But that's my opinion. So I just put the economic development on hold right now. We have too many in-house problems. Too many in-house.
Too many problems. Too many. Okay. But you're still applying for lots of grants. So it's not like you're not going for, I guess, something that's sort of related to economic development. Again, it doesn't add up. She doesn't make sense.
Situations that we need to get moving on. Since October, we had no staff. We cut our hours. Isn't that enough, residents?
What? Oh, status, Beth says hi. Isn't that enough? What? Why are you lecturing residents? You voted for all this. You're part of it. You've been in office for how many years now? Why are you yelling at us, Shirley? Listen to what we've been asking for years, demanding open the books, fix our streets, do the basic things. Stop fining people. Stop towing people's cars for stupid stuff. Stop extorting businesses. Stop driving them out of town. Stop using police to harass people. You know, listen. We've told you what we want you to do. Why are you yelling? Start listening. They open the books. They make financial expertise to optimize Harvey's chances for recovery. Oh, no, status. These people don't want Harvey to recover. They're what they call poverty pimps. So they profit off of hiding or misappropriating or, you know, allegedly stealing or doing things that they're not supposed to with public funds. And the way they do that is they keep areas like Harvey looking run down. And so it just, the cycle keeps going. Oh, okay. Oh, we're in a crisis. Oh, we can't do this, but that's okay. We're going to keep applying for grants that we don't need or didn't ask for and that don't really solve the problems. You know, and then that's how, and then they get their developer friends to come in and then they get the grants. And, you know, this is what I'm told. This is how they do the scams, you know. And I mean, Google it. I mean, this stuff isn't new. People have been doing it for centuries, you know. They bring their buddies in, they get the grant money, they give their buddies, you know, it costs $100,000 to clear some land, and their buddy writes it up. Okay, yeah, we demoed and cleared the land for $100,000. It really took them $10,000. Then they split the $90,000 with their developer buddy, you know, various politicians, blah 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 blah. Pay some family, pay for some friends, and then just, you know, rinse and repeat. That's how it goes, you know. So it's sad but true. I mean, we the public, yes, once they open the books, then we can start to actually figure out the best way forward. But until they do that, we really can't. And that's why we have to see where the money's going, you know. And that's why they'll do everything possible to avoid that.
Aren't you glad we're back to 5 o'clock instead of just 12 o'clock?
Well, aren't you? Excuse me, Mr. Rinsky, that is your job, to provide basic city services from 9 to 5. What do you mean, aren't you glad? Like you're doing people a favor. Get out of here. If you wanted to do us a favor, open the books, get rid of that luxury SUV, get rid of your driver, cut your salary in order to bring back firefighters so we have a safe level of firefighter. That's what would be doing the right thing. Get the, you know what, out of here. Yeah, society's right for that mentality. Exactly. Yep. People want to scam.
We're bringing stuff back, but things take time.
Yeah.
I've been in this position since February 1st. And I gotta tell you, I couldn't be more prouder than this team right now. Because we are working together. Yes, we have our differences. We're going to agree to disagree. But does that mean that we're always wrong? So I wanted to go through that. We talked about, I talked about potholes. Potholes! Guys, we're still in April. Potholes, grass, all that doesn't begin until April 1st. Our weather is deceiving. We get 80 degrees, and then the next day it's 50. Then it's pouring down.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know this is going long, but I have to do this. Is it? Oh, okay. So let's go to this tab instead, and we're going to do a little search right now. Okay, just a quick Google search, nothing fancy. Is it true you can only patch potholes when the weather is warm? No, it's not strictly true that they can only be patched when it's warm, but the better repairs require warmer weather. But this says 40 and or often 50 or above. It's been 40 or 50 and above for a long time. What is she talking about? Okay, and I'll say our mayor says that April is too early to patch potholes. Is that true for Harvey? Now, of course, I know we're just Googling things. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily always going to pull up the right stuff, but let's see. Okay. This says it might be partially true for permanent repairs. Okay. Hot mix is generally unavailable until late April or May. Oh, okay. Well, it's late April. Why April is a bridge month in Harvey. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, that's helpful. So we found online like Allied Asphalt in Franklin Park scheduled their opening for April 20th. Okay, well, they're open now, Shirley. So there's no need to wait. April's the height of pothole season because water seeped into cracks during winter freezes and thaws daily. Patch it with burns. Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, what you can do is cold patches. Do you guys know about that? So those are the patches that they can and should be doing. And where you don't need to wait. So let me see. I'll say what's the difference between hot and cold patches? So, so what she's saying is maybe there's like a little bit of truth in it, and that like, okay, now the plants maybe are just opening recently, but still you can still patch them, and you should patch them with cold patches. Yeah, cold patch is meant to be temporary. It's meant to last you, and is often used and should be used until the plants reopen and you can do the hot patch. Okay. So this is just saying, the cold patches can last weeks to about 2 years. Yeah, late spring through fall. Mm-hmm. Anyway, because let me see if I can find you a photo of them. Show me a coal patch, just for those of you that maybe you're like, what's that? Let's see if it can show us a photo. Okay, so here, so you can go just buy a bag, okay? Hot patch and cold patch formulations for different weather conditions. Right, yeah. So you can get cold patch any time of the year, okay? Cold tar mix, they're calling it, okay, or cold patch. So again, it doesn't last as long, but cities and municipalities use them all the time, and they should. Just because hot patches aren't available doesn't mean that we should just allow these huge potholes all over town, right? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over that. So that's all that to say, you can always patch potholes. Always. It's just what kind of patch. So if the weather is colder, which now the weather's been warm enough lately that the plants are they're either open or they are opening to do hot patches. But in the cold weather, you just do a cold patch. Not patching potholes is never an option, Shirley. Again, give up that luxury car. How many patches would that buy us?
We cannot fill the potholes because we're just wasting money. We have to have the temperature consistent. Am I correct, Crystal? Correct. I didn't know you were there. I didn't see you. I'm sorry. Would you please stand?
Putting asphalt down when it's 80, the next day it's 54 and rain, you'll wash all the asphalt away because the water you want to mix it will just break it down.
Good night. This is important stuff.
Now, Mr. Seppa allegedly makes 6 figures, okay? I think the least he can do, he's the head of Public Works, the least he could do is talk in the mic. It's true, And Public Works in Harvey is not what it should be.
So when the temperature gets to 80, 75, and we put asphalt down, and then like the rain is doing today, what happens with the asphalt mix is the water gets in, it breaks down the ground, and then it just basically, we just wasted $25 a bottle. UPM asphalt is very expensive, just like concrete is, but it's just, we gotta make sure that we get consistent 65 degrees. And also, some of the plants aren't even open yet. Some of the asphalt plants aren't even open yet because of the weather. So we rely on that. We usually shoot for April 1st, and then we try to hit
April 1st or May 1st?
May 1st, I took the things out of here. May 1st, to start hitting the potholes and all.
Okay, thank you. So you know what, we're still at the beginning. Because if you notice, previous years, we were still picking up, but we partnered up with Markham to come in. So we still do extra 2 days binders. There was a discussion about the gas.
I didn't realize it was definitely at the very, very end. So she gets going about the gas leak, and I call her out on this too.
You know what? I may not respond to Facebook, and that's another thing I want to say. I am so honored. Everyone wants to be my friend on Facebook. I'm not taking any new friends because I people that know me, and if you were from the first ward, I guarantee you're my friend. And they're texting me all the time. And they're messaging me. So we brought Alexia back. If you notice on Facebook, get out to the city of Harvey, because there's going to be a lot of updates. We couldn't bring her back full time, but she did.
So you can't afford coal patches, but you can afford to hire back. Oh, and you can't afford enough firefighters to keep us safe or safe staffing levels for police. But you can afford to hire someone for like public relations to do Facebook posts. You see how these priorities are all off?
Welcome us by honoring us by accepting a part-time. So welcome back, Alexia. She does a wonderful job if you ever hear her voice over. Yes, give her a hand of applause. And if you notice, it was late by the time you got Facebook. Didn't I not, Chief?
Wait, all right, hold on.
The gas leak. I saw it on Facebook that there was a gas leak. Wow, I called NICOR right away. I called the chief, didn't I not, Chief? And what happened on that day? Would you please get a mic? Was there a gas leak? Because I'll tell you what NICOR told me.
So that was the gas leak on April 8th that I reported the very strong smell of gas at the corner of 154th and Broadway. You know, again, not in an open field somewhere. It was under the public sidewalk in literally the heart of our downtown, with lots of people walking by, apartment buildings, City Hall, the train station, the bus station, the YMCA, you know, the bank is right there. Something that residents should probably know about, that, hey, there was a big gas leak. It was fixed, but we're just letting you know. But in Harvey, they never tell us about anything.
Yes, it was a gas leak.
Stand up, please. Yeah, please stand up.
Yes, it was a gas leak in front of the 15400. The residents there. NICOR came out. They did verify that the demolition that was going in the rear, it had nothing to do with the leak in front. The leak in front was caused by corrosion of the pipes.
Two separate issues.
Not true. That is incorrect.
Please, I did not interrupt you. Do not.
So she's she didn't maybe necessarily totally lie in that, and the chief didn't totally lie in that. I did speak with the NICOR man and that came out, and he said that it did look like there was corrosion, but that does not eliminate the fact that there was, heavy machinery at that demo site next door and everything. It doesn't mean that the demo didn't lead to that gas leak. They can't say that. But it was just crazy how desperate they were to basically say, no, we basically, we as the city of Harvey didn't do anything wrong, because they've not had anybody out there calling out the safety violations at this huge demo site. Anyway.
Interrupt me.
That's a lie.
That's what the NICOR technician told myself.
Straight lie.
About that. And also, you can pull the incident report from NICOR to explain the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right. And I have the confirmation number if people want to call, but they don't give you a written report, unfortunately. But I do actually have the number, the confirmation number.
Absolutely, please do, because I gotta tell you, I got a call I called NICOR too. And it was not, according to what they told me, there was a gas leak, but that section was already closed down. So it was two different areas. So I just want to say, and I'm grateful, put your stuff on Facebook if I happen to see it. But other than that, go and call your alderman so we don't have to do this by chance. We don't have to be on a Saturday morning.
Right, and that's where I'll show you guys, because I did notify. Actually, I called NICOR right away, and then I did notify not only my alderman but all the city council. But that's all right. I got the receipts for you, Shirley. Just let her say her BS and send the police after me.
I'm copying, I'm just scanning. No, it's a 50-50 chance that I saw that.
You were emailed. All staff were emailed by me. You knew about it.
Please do not interrupt.
Wow, the gall! Like, she just lie. They just lie. But that's okay. Like I said, I got the receipts for you, Miss Shirley.
They don't lie about me.
Officer Griffin, Sergeant Pass.
Okay, so anyway.
Yeah, and now they're sending the police. That would BS.
We talked about that.
Have you noticed for this whole thing, this dude, this highly paid lawyer, we pay tons of money for, he literally is doing nothing the whole time. Nothing. Like, why is he there? Why are we paying him?
Economic development. Oh, District 205 talked about they wanted to.
Don't mess around.
Sorry, and then I accidentally, I think that I cut the camera. But I did have Did it not download? No, I think it downloaded the other. Oh, maybe. Did it download it first? I had a small portion. Okay, hold on. Let me find it. There, yeah, we're just about done, guys. Thanks for your patience. Let me just find. It was literally, I think, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes or something after that. But yeah, see, that's the kind of thing that I don't act. It's like if you call them out on their lies, then all of a sudden you're disruptive. Oh, here it is. It's right here. But when they lie and antagonize, it's okay.
Fortunately, you are under the age of 18 and you could get injured, so you did not.
Bring it right in your face.
Griffin. They've sent Griffin after me so many times. This officer. This is that they waste our money.
Now, if you have a construction department and your teachers want to do this as a project and you're willing to take the supervision, absolutely. But as far as anyone going on abandoned properties, you are not getting the city approval for liability purposes. Cleanups, absolutely. Safety, absolutely. But boarding up or tearing down abandoned homes, we cannot do that because of security purposes. But I appreciate your initiative. But you could get involved by becoming a general counsel. So with that, we covered a lot.
Yeah, and again, I don't get what she's saying about that. Whatever.
There's going to be a lot more covering, a lot more going on. Remember, 7 o'clock city council meetings. Meet with the mayor is on what day, Alexia? Starts May 11th. Monday from 4 to 6. 4 to 6. Meet. It's just coffee downstairs. If you want to talk, you want to talk. You don't. You want to just sit down and listen to other people. Then I'm also going to have one-on-one also on Thursdays from I think 3 to 5, 3 to 6, something like that. If you need to do an evening one, you're more than welcome to call.
That's how they use our tax.
And schedule something after 5.
No, Shirley, we don't want to have coffee with you, Shirley.
Thursdays would be, I believe, I need a motion to adjourn.
Please.
All right, everyone say aye. Aye. Be safe, everyone. I can't hear you.
What? Hey, thanks for coming. I thought you were going to speak too.
I didn't know. I don't know.
That's all right.
But we should have stuff with her.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you were leaving. Okay. Your wife and you in the same place. You see him after that crazy last time. Huh? Oh, no, I mean, they're dangerous. She was fine. I
Yeah, that's about it. At least they weren't as bad. Usually they'll.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
they'll usually turn the lights off. Oh no, they did turn the lights off again. They're horrible. Like they chase us out of our own city hall. It's and I understand. I mean, nobody wants to hang out super late, but I don't know, I don't like the way they do it. It's very punitive.
I guess.
I think that was about it. So yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Duh. I wanted to show you the email. Duh. Oh. Can I share it from it? No, I didn't want to share it from there. How do I just pop it out? Pop it out. Man, I know I've done this before. How do I do it? Oh, it doesn't really matter. That attorney is accomplishing generations of billable hours. Right. It's like, you know what I mean? What a great job, man. I mean, like literally, bro, you just let the whole world go to hell in a handbasket, but you're just sitting there collecting that big attorney check. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy what these people do, man. Okay, so here are those receipts, Shirley. Well, we shouldn't contact your alder person. You know, I mean, don't leave it to chance. I just happened to be on Facebook, you know, with my coffee looking and I saw it. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's okay, Ms. Drewinski, because actually you received the email. So I found the leak on the 8th, and then this was on the 9th. Hazardous leak and illegal demolition, 154 for Broadway, Harvey. So let's see, who was this addressed to? We did some people with the Attorney General's office, asbestos demo with Cook County, some other Cook County people in environment and sustainability. Let's see, the FBI, the state's attorney, more Cook County, Chicago FBI. Then we had Alderwoman Chapman on the email, Alderman Key, the police, the fire chief, Fisher, Alderwoman Smith, Alderman Randall L., Alderman Rogers, interim alderwoman who should be clerk, but anyway, Arambula, Mayor Drewinski. Oh, do you see? Oh, do you see that? Isn't that interesting? Randall L. Again, Chief of Police Biddings. A. Reese. He's supposed to be the Inspector General for Harvey, but I think nowadays he just drives the mayor around. And then the Harvey Building Department, Harvey Planning, and Bridget Allen, she works in the building department, you know. And then I copied some media outlets, et cetera, but nothing crazy. So I said, government authorities, media, and concerned citizens, formal notification of hazardous demolition and utility failure, 154 Broadway and Harvey demo site, affected adjacent property, 15400 Broadway. Incident date, April 8th. I'm formally reporting a class 1 high-pressure gas leak and imminent hazard condition caused by demolition activities at the above referenced site. Now, like I said, the NICOR guy, he did mention corrosion, but no one can say that was not caused by the demolition, because sure as hell nobody reported. And whenever I was over there before they started this big demo, I didn't smell that huge whiff of gas. Like, that wasn't a little bit of smell, that was a huge smell. Failure of site control. At approximately 2 p.m., a high-pressure gas leak was discovered at the adjacent vacant structure, 15400 Broadway. The leak was characterized by audible hissing and visible bubbling at the riser. I'll show you. See the photo there? So it was coming up right there. And if any of this foundation or soil were broken, it could get into the building, and then that could cause, if it has the right mix of gas and oxygen, you know, and it were to ignite, that could cause a big explosion. Just because it hasn't happened, you know, recently in Harvey doesn't mean that we want to risk it, right? And then you can see they had to come and do this. This was not a little repair, okay? Do you see how? You see what I'm talking? Oh, sorry. It started off like this. So they immediately got like 4 or 5 NICOR trucks. I've never seen that many in one place. They cut it open, and you know, it took them a while. That's what it started off like. Oh, and this is them mid work. So just so you know, that I'm not making stuff up here. Emergency utility intervention. NICOR Gas responded to an emergency 911 call, confirmed the leak, and was forced to excavate the public sidewalk to perform a high priority repair. So grade 1 leak just means basically, you know, if you have a grade 2 or a grade 3, that means it's not near a building or a structure, and it doesn't have to be repaired right away. It's not a huge hazard, because if there's enough ambient, you know, oxygen and such around, it's not as big of an explosion risk. Still could happen. Excuse me, but the grade 1s mean you have to fix it now. That's a grade 1 gas leak. And Russ never sleeps. Right, exactly. And think like, okay, so there was corrosion. So what? You're still freaking responsible for public safety. You're going to check on these All those empty buildings and stuff. You know, having big equipment next door pounding and knocking down landmark brick buildings doesn't help things, you know. Non-compliance with 220 ILCS 50, despite the proximity of live gas lines to the vacant adjacent structure, heavy machinery, and Shirley, again, she's lying, but it's like a little bit of truth. So sometimes that makes the lie sound better, but it's still a lie. Where she said, well, I called Nightcore and they said the gas was shut off to the demo. So yeah, the demo site, but that's a big ass, like built like to it could be a bomb shelter, you know, quality 3-story brick building that was a landmark that should have been restored and not demoed for money. So you don't think that could cause disruption in gas lines right around the site? Like, duh, it doesn't take a scientist to figure that out. Despite the proximity of live gas lines to the vacant adjacent structure, heavy machinery operations by the contractor Alliance Demolition continued within the tolerance zone. So again, that's the area that could be affected by demolishing a large building with all that equipment. Not just, oh yeah, gas was shut off to that site. Okay, well thanks, Mr. Rinsky, but that's not, you know, that's not the only area of risk. Without verified utility disconnects for the entire project perimeter. Lack of municipal oversight. The city of Harvey has failed to issue a stop work order despite the documented risk of explosion and the necessity of emergency utility repairs. So they just still let the demolition go on. Like, okay, that's cool. Like I said, I called the Illinois Commerce Commission and they came out. I think it was Monday because we found it. I think I called them like on a Friday. They fixed it, but and they did come out and they verified via email to me that, okay, yeah, we sent some crews out and they were checking all the gas lines around in downtown Harvey, those empty buildings. So, I mean, that made me feel better, but like, what the hell are we paying the city of Harvey fire chief for? And these other public safety officials and the building department, where are you? I request an immediate investigation by the Cook County Department of Environment and Sustainability into the validity of the demolition permit and the contractor's compliance with safety protocols. Given the hissing pressure and the confirmed soil migration of gas, I'm requesting an immediate stop work order until a full safety audit of all the buildings adjacent to 15404 Broadway is completed. To date, the city of Harvey has not been responsive to safety complaints regarding the site. This is why we are requesting outside authorities to intervene. Now, also what I wanted to show you, because I think... no, it wasn't the, oh yeah, safety breach. And it was that, when did I send them? Oh yeah, and that was, and then I let them know of the other violations as well, like no public permit, the perimeter was left not secured, left open, little kids live around that they could come, you know, and fall in the hole. They were doing dry demolition, which is illegal, so letting the dust get all over the place, tracking all sorts of debris onto the street and sidewalk. There was just so much stuff. You know, they had a big pile of combustibles, you know, that was a huge fire risk. In addition to the gas leak that I found, could you imagine if somehow something had ignited and then you had, you know, just like, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 feet away, you know, this big pile of combustibles, like, come on, guys. Like, and then if you do nothing wrong, but Harvey feels like ticketing you, they'll be like, oh, you can't do that without a permit. Here's a $2,500 ticket. Like, GTFO. So then I was like, come on, guys, we need to verify things are done correctly. Luckily, we did get some of this stuff stopped. Like, we got that combustible pile cleaned up. They still have not actually put a proper fence around the property, which is horrible. But, you know, we were able to get a few concessions because the county really bugged them. But what I want you to notice, though, is all those Harvey authorities I emailed, look to see, and the other authorities, how many email responses did I get? Oh, I sent some photos. Do you see? Nothing. But that's okay, Mr. Rinsky, because we know you got it. I got those receipts. You got the email. You just didn't respond. And you know what? Like I said, it's nothing personal. I just want things to be done right. And I want people to be taking precautions for people's safety in Harvey. That's what I care about. I'm not paid for any of this stuff. but I do it because I care. I care about the city. I care about the people. I care about my safety, our buildings, everything. But she can't say she didn't know. Even if she didn't respond to me, at a very minimum, the city should have put out a public notice to say, hey, this is what's happening. You know, it was repaired, blah, 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 we're addressing it. Instead, people are left to wonder. Exactly, one casual toss of a spent cigarette. Could you imagine that? The gas leak on 154th combined with the huge, like I said, like this stuff, I feel like a little kid could have picked this out. You know what I mean? Where they're like, be like, Daddy, why is there that big pile of dry wood sitting there next to the brick building? You know, I've had people tell me, well, what did you think, Ryan? Of course, they're hoping that fires or explosions erupt because they want to get rid of all those buildings on that half block. And I'm told that they want to bring in an out-of-town developer to put in a big subsidized housing project. I'm like, well, could be true. We have to verify, but they're top secret about everything. They never want to tell us anything. But what's crazy is that, you know, like you didn't even have the courtesy to tell people. People in the neighborhood just would have to drive by or wonder or talk to each other. So I reached out, you know, as much as I could to the people and businesses around the area to say, hey, did the city tell you about the big gas leak on April 8th? You know, what? What's that? The girls at the bank, you know, right next door, they had no idea. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, this has nothing to do with, you know, how you feel about your job. It's like, just do it. And if you don't want to do it, just resign now. You know what I mean? Like, let someone take over that cares. Because one, you know, for this incident, luckily I reported it. No explosions, no fires. But, you know, why should we be allowing these things that are so unsafe? And, you know, as I've been covering this, I know one person posted on Facebook something like, I know the person that's doing that, his company is doing the demo. Why are you nitpicking? My thing is, when you look at the photos of the site, and I'll pull them up for you. Ooh. Were these the photos from today? Wait, I wanted to show you from today. When you look at some of the photos from the site, ask yourself this. This is how you know when this is how you know that things are not being done right in Harvey. Would this be acceptable? Oh, this is where the gap is. Like I said, like less than a half a block from where a whole bunch of little kids live in that apartment building. I mean, right behind there's all the equipment, all this sharp, you know, debris, a big hole. Like, it's just asking for kids to come in there. Like, ask yourself, and this gate is wide open. So again, anybody can just wander into the demo site. And it's just a few feet from, because remember the main entrance to the bank, the only bank in Harvey, that's how horribly these people have run the city into the ground. The main entrance is just a few feet behind where I'm taking this photo. So, I mean, it's like, you know, asking for people to get hurt. And if they do, guess what? The city's claiming they own the property. So they sue the city and we'd have to pay for it. You know? But as I show you these pictures, ask yourself, would this be acceptable at a demo site in Naperville? How about Hinsdale? Oh, this is at the end of the block. That's where the big apartment building is. How about Evanston? Would this be okay at a demo site there? How about the Gold Coast in Chicago? How about Hyde Park? What about Beverly? Would this be okay? Would this be okay at a demo site there? How about Lakeview? Some, you know, Lincoln Park on the north side. This is this wall that I'm afraid that is going to fall down. I don't know why they don't just knock that part down now since they've done all that. Oh, those are the bricks that they bundle up to sell to God knows who for God knows how much, decent amount of money, and then where that money goes, we don't know. But again, would this be okay in Lakeview or Roscoe Village? How about Logan Square? Yeah, look at all the debris they leave. Like, this is Broadway. Like, City Hall's right here. You see the blue awning? That's City Hall. Right there. It's disgusting. You know, they wouldn't allow that. You think they'd allow that in Homewood? And it violates the county permit too. This is called track out. They're not supposed to have all that debris. It's literally illegal. Don't worry though, the city of Harvey won't ticket the company that they hired secretively and, you know, like under cover of night, you know, to quickly secretively. They say they voted on it. I don't remember ever seeing that this demo being voted on. Did the public ever see that? And you know, they're trying to do it as quickly as possible. Why? You trying to steal money or something? But don't worry, because see how all this is ripped and all this track out here, all this stuff violates their permits. But Harvey won't do anything. But if you so much as have a blade of grass out of place and they feel like getting some money, extorting some money out of you, they'll be right there to ticket you. Those building inspectors, it takes them all of, you know, 5 seconds. So, I mean, it's just, we have to call out this not only hypocrisy, but like I said, it gets to the point where it's not just wasting, but these are safety issues, you know. Like, is this even right for the workers? Like, why do you leave these like metal beams just sitting there like that? Oh, and this right by the site too, there's literally a hole. I have no idea how deep this hole is in the sidewalk right there. I'm like, so maybe someone might just like fall in the hole at some point. Or maybe it would collapse. Yeah, that's the hole right there. Right on Broadway. Not even a block from City Hall. Oh, doesn't that look beautiful? I'm sure they would love that, wouldn't they? How about, do you think you would see that in Orland Park at a demolition site? Well, they don't really have any too highly densely populated areas though. Like that's what I was saying. Like, how about Hinsdale? Or how about downtown Wheaton? They have a lovely downtown. Do you think this would be okay in the heart of their downtown? A demo site that looks like that? White flight was devastating to Harvey. Right. Oh, for sure. Yes. Yep. Yeah. You're right. You know, how about, I'm just trying to think of other, you know, like, oh, Wilmette, how about, you know, in the North Shore, or maybe even Oak Lawn, you know, would like, do you think, would this be allowed there? Do you think this is a good, you know, now I always give credit to NICOR because they responded professionally and immediately and took care of that gas leak. So thank you, NICOR. I put the board up ever since I reported that gas leak on April 8th, and the gas leak is like just out of the frame here to the left. But this board's just been laying on the street. So I just picked it up today. But the fire chief, I told him on April 8th, and I'm like, what is this? This is not good. People are going to get in this building. And he picked it up and leaned it, but like no one from the city, again, this is less than a block from City Hall. No one from the building department can come over and put fucking 4 screws in. This is literally our downtown. People walk by this building every day. And it's right across the street from a big apartment building where lots of kids live. Like, do you want kids to go in there and you know, but trouble and but like it's just ridiculous. Let me see if towards the end I think I have a little bit of that in video too, because that just really pisses me off. Oh, my hair was messy. Come on, play.
Oh, of course the city won't tell us anything, but I'm told they want to demo these buildings and that they're that property with trying to tell us anything.
Let me see if I think I got it, but yeah, it's basically in these buildings right here.
Hey, Harvey. So again, stay tuned. We're gonna try to keep you up wandering.
Here, there it is. I just wanted to kind of
back up, but I mean, it's like right in our downtown. Right in our downtown. Like anybody just can wander in there in that building. That's not okay, Harvey. So again, stay tuned.
Dogs, maybe commit some violent acts. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God. How much time and effort does it take? Surely, again, why don't you give up that car, sweetheart? Ms. Drawinsky, why don't you give up that taxpayer funded luxury SUV and your personal driver and drive your car around a city of 19,000 some people? I think you could do that, you know, take a little bit of that money, send a worker from Public Works or from the building department, a screw gun, 4 screws, maybe more to be on the safe side, and reattach that board. How hard would that be? But no, they always want to tell you, we don't have money, but they have money for everything that they want, don't they? Keep asking the questions, guys. Hang in there. I'm just checking meetings. I don't think we have any other big meetings scheduled this week. Yeah, just 9:30 on Saturday is the tree planting if anybody wants to help out. Okay, that's about it for tonight. Thanks for joining us, guys. And hang in there. Keep asking those questions. Come out to the meetings, whether you're in Harvey or wherever you're at. Bonne nuit. Good to see you again, Status.